Hello, Professor. We're going to hope that this recording works this time. I've done a few of them, but it looks like they weren't saving properly. So we're going to hope this one works. This is going to be my screencast for finding and evaluating articles. So we're going to go over here. We're on the library homepage. Whoops. And we're going to click on the blue databases button. We're going to scroll down, select a subject, and for our purposes, we are going to be in the education. We're going to go over here to the best bets. The database site chose is Professional Development Collection because it has 340 journals covering the most current topics in the field of education. And when we're talking about technology, we definitely want it to be more current, so I figured that this one would be the best one to use. So if we click on that, it'll lead us over here. We'll look over here and we'll have our search bar. You can see I've used 3 different Boolean operators. And then as we've searched the results, it looks like we have 173 different results. So not a ton, but we're going to go and put it down to scholarly peer-reviewed journals for our limits. That'll take us down to, looks like 94 results. And then we'll definitely want to change the date here. And we'll change it to 2009. Especially with technology, like I said, we want that to be as current as possible. Good, so that looks like we got it down to 59 different articles. We can see we got some developing STEM, we got aerial drone, information technology, minority students, we got some more STEM. So as I look through this, most of it really is involving like STEM. You got some of the sciences, engineering, etc. But my question was really more general for high school students in general, or even all students in general. So I'm going to skip over here to page 5, and this is the article that I decided on. It's called Using Technology to Engage and Educate Youth. Now the reason why I chose this one was because it's a little bit more general. It's not narrowed down to like a specific course like math, science, the STEMs. But it's more general, like how does it help them? How does it help educate youth? Which I really liked about it. So we're going to pull it up here. We're going to look here at the authors, which is Monica Martinez and Susan Schilling. So I just did a quick research on Monica Martinez, and it looks like she's a PhD. She's an education strategist, author, speaker on innovation and education. Looks like she was an appointee by the governor for the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing. It looks like she was the appointee to the White House Commission on Education Excellence for Hispanics. So she's very qualified in my opinion. It looks like she's got really good credentials and is really qualified to be talking about these things, especially for my research question. And then Susan Schilling, if we scroll down to the bottom here, it shows a little bit more on Monica. She's the president of New Tech Network. And then Susan's an independent consultant who led New Technology Foundation, is at New Tech Network for 9 years. So to me, they seem pretty qualified to be writing on this subject. And then we are going to look at the references to make sure it's a good article. So the first reference we see here is for the New York Times. Not the best reference, I will admit, but that's only the first one, so we'll keep going through here. Looks like we got McGraw-Hill, Grown Up Digital. That seems like a better reference. We got, looks like a journal, more journals. Let's see what else we got here. Another journal, review of research paper here for number 10. So yeah, so it looks like we're looking at some pretty good references here, and then we're just going to look at the dates on them real quick as well. It looks like we got 2000, 1995, that's a little bit early. Let's see if we've got any more current ones up here. We got 2009, 2008, 2008. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty good within the time frame. We've got a few that are a little out of date, but for the most part, we're seeing 2009, 2009. So we're looking pretty good there on the references. We're going to come back here and look at when this particular article was published. So it looks like it was 2010. Not the most recent, but I mean within 10 to 11 years, that's not terrible. That's still pretty good, and I know technology changes a lot, but I'm happy with it being within 10 years of the current date. I think in a couple years or so this might be more out of date than it is now. But I'm happy with that, and I think we'll continue to use this article. Okay, now we're going to be looking for objectivity and bias in the article, if there's one or the other, or a little bit of both. As I read through the article, to me, I didn't really see a lot of bias, and I'm going to point out kind of why if I can scroll down here and find it. So she talks about kind of her plan with integrating technology, putting students at the center, technology is the tool. Okay, so here's the part where I found it to be unbiased. She talks about the challenges of using the technology in the classroom. For me, it was pretty in-depth. She talks about how it can be difficult, why it's difficult for students and teachers. So to me, that's kind of showing that she's not being biased in her article, that she's really analyzing it from a more objective standpoint. After she talks about the challenges, she talks about pointing the way, putting her theory in action, and showing how it can work, how it is possible to overcome those challenges. So at the end, after reading all of the article, I found it to be purely objective. Not really a lot of bias was found in the article. Okay, so we're just going to use these last few minutes we have here to kind of summarize what I found in the article. I think the paragraph that really summarized this article best was the one that we have here that starts with "given that information." In this little paragraph, she really does a good job of summarizing her whole article, which her argument basically is that students nowadays are adequate in using technology. They use it in every facet of their life. She says even here it's natural to the next generation as breathing. So she says that we need to really use technology to maximize their learning potential in school. If you're wanting to get kids interested in school, you need to help them apply it to their everyday lives, maximize what they're getting out of school. She talks about how students drop out because of boredom or lack of interest. But she also talks about how they're more likely to be engaged when they use tools in school that are the same as the ones that they use in their home, their workplace, their community, their everyday lives. So if you really want to engage a student in school, you need to help them understand how it applies to their lives. And without using technology, that's going to be difficult because technology is such a huge factor in their everyday lives. So that's kind of just a quick summary of the whole article. I know that's not a huge summary, but that's just a quick one of kind of what she's talking about in the article. And then finally, in regards to my research question, which is how can technology help high school students become more creative or innovative? After reading this article, I really don't want to change that question. I think it covers it broadly enough that I have good research to do and discover on that topic. It's not so narrow that I'm limited in those searches. And then this article did a good job of kind of explaining how it helps high school students become more creative, more innovative, how it helps them in their learning and in their everyday lives. So I think I'm set with my research question. I really like where it's at right now. But other than that, I think that pretty much covers it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.